How do you move out to move up? If you're a tech leader who wants to leave your current job to land a new one higher up the ladder, this video is for you. I'm going to share the top 5 mistakes we see our tech leader clients making so that you can avoid them. And more importantly, I'll share what to do instead so that you can increase your chances of landing a higher level technical leadership job. Hi there, folks. I'm Jen Funk, and I help tech leaders build your dream career. So let's dive into mistake number 1. Accepting a lateral position, hoping that you'll get a promotion. So many times we've seen clients do this, and then it doesn't happen. So you spend all of that time and effort on the job market, interviewing for that company, and they promise that this is an upward moving company, and that even though we're hiring you at manager, we'll see you at director within the next 3 months, 6 months. Oh, for sure. And then the promise is broken. A year later, 2 years later, you're still a manager, earning manager level money, and you're nowhere closer to becoming a director. Unfortunately, they'll say anything to try to get you to take the job if you're a hell yes fit for them. So while it isn't necessarily always done in a nefarious way, they can't promise. They really can't. They don't know what's going to happen 3 months or 6 months down the line. So what I encourage you to do instead, I believe it might be obvious, is go directly for that next level position, whatever that next level position is for you. So if you're a manager, then that next level would likely be something like senior manager or director. So go after those senior manager or director jobs. If you're already a director or senior director, go after those VP level jobs, apply for them. That's what you want to do. Do it. Mistake number 2. The second mistake that we see clients making is that they haven't yet upgraded their identity to being a tech executive. So I want you to check in. Do you feel at your core identity, at your core beingness, I am a tech executive? If that's not the case, then the likelihood of you landing a next level technical leadership job is pretty low. Because we make decisions, we vibe from our beingness. So if you show up to those interviews not yet fully convinced if you haven't yet fully convinced yourself that you're a technical executive and you're not claiming that identity, yes, I am, that's what I do. This is who I am, this is what I do. I'm a tech executive, I'm a tech director, I'm a tech VP. If you don't show up like that and present yourself like that, then the chances of them hiring you are pretty low. So, what does it mean to upgrade your identity? Well, there's a lot to this, obviously. The one thing that I would ask you to start with awareness. Say the words, I am a tech executive. Look at yourself in the mirror. Foibles and all. Maybe you have some skin stuff going on too because of the changing seasons. My eyes are rebelling. It's too dry. So, doesn't matter, right? Look at yourself in the mirror. I am a tech executive. Bonus points, I am a badass tech executive. Can you feel that in your core? Is it like a hell yes? Because if it's not hell yes, it's no. And your brain may be like, well, I'm not an executive yet. I'm a manager. I just want to become a director, right? But what's important is to be forward facing here. If there's one thing that I hope that you get out of this entire video, it's that it's about having that vision for the future. I am a technical director, VP, and living that now regardless of the current circumstances. Because I get it, some of you are not tech executives, yet in title, but in beingness, you can absolutely be it. You can absolutely be it. And the being comes first, then the having. Life is a series of being, doing, having, repeat, being, doing, having, repeat. So the beingness comes first. Then you do, then you have. And this isn't just, by the way, staring at the mirror, I'm a tech executive, And people, gosh darn it, people like me. Like, please don't do that. It's like, you're just forcing it that way. But one thing that you can do is that you can come up with a list of 50 reasons why you are already a badass tech executive. What if? What if, even though my job title is currently manager, senior manager, director, what if I'm already a badass tech executive? Wow. I could. That's actually, yeah, you know, I've done this thing and that thing and the other thing. Write them down. What is the value that you've added? Like externally, what are the wins? What are the outcomes? What is the value that you've added? And then also internally, you have confidence. It's available to you and you can access your confidence, right? I'm a badass introvert. I'm a badass, leader. I'm a servant leader and I'm getting better at it every single day. These are things to tap into and to remind yourself. It's not about convincing yourself of something that's not true. It's seeing the truth that you're not paying attention to yet. Stick a pin in that when I get to the resume point. But make sure that you cultivate, build that identity. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen as a world-class, badass technical executive. Mistake number 3. Speaking of resumes, your resume still feels like middle management or lower. This is definitely one of those mistakes we see. I would say almost close to 100% of clients who come to work with us and say, yeah, I'm on the job market and I want a promotion. I want to move out to move up. We look at their resume. And a lot of times, what I'm going to say is 100% of the time, it does not reflect the future role. Because people don't talk about this. People talk about, make sure you add these keywords and all this other stuff in the resume. It's, let's take a big step back, shall we? What's your goal? What's the outcome? What's the desired outcome? It's to up level. It's to land a next level job. So your resume's got to tell a next level story, my friends. Be honest with yourself. Does your resume tell a next level story? If it doesn't, it's time to fix it. Now, I'm not saying lie. No. Again, this is not about convincing yourself that something is true when it's not. This is about putting on a different set of glasses and seeing reality differently. It's not about bending reality or trying to convince anybody that this alternate reality exists, but it doesn't. It's putting on a different set of glasses and saying, oh, wow, I never looked at that project that way. Those are some next level, executive level outcomes. Look at your resume. Look at every single bullet point. Does it feel next level? And your brain will give you excuses. It'll be like, oh, but that's why I'm leaving, because I haven't had enough opportunity to shine as a next level executive. They haven't even given me these stretch projects. Like, I want these stretch projects as a manager, but they're not giving it to me. That's why I'm leaving. Your brain will come up with all of the reasons why you can't do this. And what I would say to that is, okay, brain, I know. Ugh, it's so effing hard, and that's why we're leaving. And let's get curious, please. Let's think like an executive. Because an executive doesn't give excuses. An executive gives reasons why it's going to work. So why is this going to work? So make sure you're including executive level outcomes. What are executive level outcomes? These include things like the revenue you're helping to generate, the profit you're helping to generate, the new clients you're helping to bring in, the clients that you're helping to retain, the world-class level of customer service that you're helping to engender. And also go to your organization's value, vision statement, mission statement. What are the competencies that are present in your organization's mission statement? And make sure the higher level ones are there. So in other words, don't just talk about the tech and the tech goodies and in getting into the tech weeds. You need to make sure that you're talking about higher level technical leadership outcomes, KPIs. Yes, I'm talking about KPIs here. And like the highest level that you can think of. So in other words, these are going to be the outcomes that your CTO, that your CFO, that your did I say CEO? Anybody at the C level is going to care about. And you're going to show how the actions that you've taken and the projects that you've led have led to these amazing executive level outcomes, higher level organizational outcomes. And by the way, I want to throw this one in here, and it relates to these two mistakes and how to look at them differently. So it relates to upgrading your identity and upgrading your resume. Leadership is everywhere. So for some of you, you might be watching this video and you're an individual contributor wanting to up level into management. And for some of you, you've never really seen yourself as a leader, even though your job title is management. What I want to tell you is that leadership is everywhere. Leaders are the ones who raise their hand and say, put me in, coach. So think of all those times where you said, put me in, coach. And whether you won or lost, you still gave it a try. That's important. That's important. Another thing that's important here to include in your resume is culture. How are you building and maintaining and propagating and nurturing a culture of connection, of transparency, of trust? That's really important at the executive levels as well. So make sure your resume reflects those. Mistake number 4. You are wasting time studying and learning and diving deeper into the tech weeds that were relevant before. So what does this look like? You are taking courses, you're reading books, you're scouring Reddit, and you're in groups, you're watching YouTube videos about the tech and the tech weeds of your current position. That's not going to get you to a next level position. Again, see how this is related. I want you to notice how it all ties back to that identity. When you be that tech executive, I'm being that tech executive. Oh, this stuff isn't relevant anymore, but this stuff is. So what the stuff is going to vary based on like what sector of tech you're in, what level we're talking about. Are we talking about senior manager, director, senior director, VP? There's always a certain amount of learning new tech that's going to be required. Now, I actually find most people spend too much time on this and not enough time developing your leadership skills. So do make sure you're spending time developing your leadership skills, being able to build relationships, influence, think strategically, getting things done in flow. These are important leadership skills. So if you're not investing time and money into those, please make sure you are. Like, what I would ask you to do, just really quick, like you don't need massive spreadsheets for this or anything, although if it feels good and fun, that's fine. In terms of your professional development, what percentage of your time are you spending, time and money, are you spending on tech stuff? Like maybe it's learning new coding languages, learning new frameworks, things like that. And what percentage of your time are you spending, time and money, are you spending on leadership stuff? Learning how to think strategically, learning how to get stuff done in flow, learning how to influence, learning how to build relationships. What percentage of your time are you over there? And it should be way more. It should be like 80-20. I want you spending 80% of your time and money on up-leveling your leadership skills, 20% of your time up-leveling your tech skills. Because you are in tech after all. I'm not going to say it's zero. It is important to keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on in tech, especially your sector, your niche within tech. And then when we're talking about with your niche within tech, be forward thinking about it. Don't study yesterday's or even today's stuff that's important. Study the stuff that's going to be important in your new role. Have that vision for, all right, as a director of engineering, as a VP of engineering, here is the impact that I want to make. Here are the day-to-day activities and decisions that I'm going to be making. So what do I want to dive deeper on and learn more about? The first thing that should come to your mind is leadership, because that's the majority of where the majority of your time and energy is spent as a leader. And then what may also come to mind is, oh, right, there's this framework that I want to dive more into, or there's this tech that I want to dive more into that's going to be relevant in that higher level role that I haven't dove into yet. That's where you want to spend your time and energy. Be forward thinking. Be and do and make decisions from that future position, not from your current one. Mistake number 5, you're not fully leveraging your network. This is important on the job market for anyone, especially right now where it's super competitive. It's getting a little bit easier. It's currently September 30th of 2024. It's been a wild ride in tech for the last year or so. It's evening out a little bit. There's definitely lots of technical leadership positions out there, but I'm not going to lie, the competition is still pretty fierce. And here's the thing that has always been true and continues to be true, especially for next level technical leadership jobs. Those positions, most of our clients are finding these positions through networking, not on Indeed or LinkedIn or some of the other job boards. And the higher up you go, the less likely you're going to find them on the job boards. The more likely that you're going to hear about them through your network. So again, I believe it's pretty obvious on what you should be doing instead. Leverage your network. And if you don't have one, build one. But here's the thing. We hear this a lot from our clients is, there's no one. Like that's why I just feel so stuck. That's why I hired you, is because I don't have a network. So I want to rely on you to help me with that piece of it because I don't have a network. And every single time a client has said that to us, we've challenged them on it. First of all, thank you for trusting us. It's been an honor to work with you. And second of all, I'm going to challenge you on that. So I'm going to challenge you, YouTube listener, right now. If you're like, I don't have a network, I got to build a brand new network. You're a technical leader. Most likely, if you're listening to this, you're a technical leader. You didn't get where you are right now without a network. You have friends. You have colleagues. You just got some air bubbles about contacting them. You got some air bubbles you need to pop. You need to smooth them out a little bit. Like, oh, I just contacted them. I don't want to bother them. I should be able to do this myself. I shouldn't have to rely on my network. Oh, I'm too much of an introvert. You might have some excuses. And we're all human, which is why I call them air bubbles, right? I'm not here to make you wrong. I'm here to be playful with the fact that we're human. But you got to recognize the fact that if you're not networking and you're not regularly, most days, having conversations, career building conversations, that's why you've not landed that next level hell yes job yet, is because you're not having those conversations. And a lot of time those conversations might be uncomfortable. In the beginning, because you're not used to it. It's new. Anything that's new is a little bit uncomfortable. Make sure you're leveraging your network. Make sure that you're reaching out to the people who will help you and want to help you land that next level, hell yes, tech leadership job. to sum up, number one, do not accept a lateral position hoping that that will turn into a promotion. Go straight for the next level positions. Number two, upgrade your identity to being a badass tech executive. Number three, make sure your resume feels like the resume of a technical executive. Number four, spend more time diving deep into learning about leadership and the technical aspects that are going to be important in your future job, not for your current job. And number five, fully leverage your network. So there you have it. And your resume, by the way, is super, super important, especially right now since it's so competitive. And I don't want any of you to miss out on opportunities. So I made a video on what exactly to do to make sure that your resume is looking the best it can to increase your chances of landing a Hell Yes Tech leadership job. And in that video, I show a real life resume. It's a real life badass technical leader resume. And I show you exactly what to add so that you can make sure that you can build your dream career. So check out that video right here. I'll catch you in that one. Talk to you later, folks.